don't know what's going on with his Only the Jordan 1s sell. I thought Jordan 1s were dead. Hey, what's going on, guys? My name's Chris. Welcome back to the official WearTesters.com YouTube channel. Today we got a detailed look and breakdown, basically checking to see if these are any good. But this is the Nike Zoom Field Jaxx, the latest Travis Scott collaboration with Nike. And I gotta say, I don't know. I'm not sure how I feel about them. There's parts of them that I love. There's parts of them that I think are hideous. But overall, we'll take a look and see how they are. Now, I did grab these from Kicks Crew, and it's pretty cool. They actually have these brand new things on their shoes. So they used to come with like their own little tags, and they still do, but looks like they changed their logos and all that kind of stuff. There's an authentication tag on there. So yeah, if you're into that kind of thing, maybe check them out. But these guys right here are selling for just about retail, sometimes a little bit under, depending on where you can find them. And I find that fascinating because it wasn't too long ago where anything with that sicko face on there would just sell and then resell like hotcakes. Not anymore. But just in case you were curious, this is the box. It's got print all over it. So yeah, if you like that, there you go. The shoes themselves are pretty interesting because they actually pull from a shoe that I absolutely love. It's a shoe that we reviewed fairly recently that had just gotten another retro, which is the Nike Zoom Spiron. When you're looking at these, they don't quite look like the Spiron except for from the midsole down, and that's because the midsole down is from the Nike Spiron. But the traction is actually a little bit different. This is much more aggressive. This is kind of like what the name of the shoe states, like a field or turf trainer. You can even probably consider this as like a trail shoe. You know what I mean? So like when you look at a running shoe like the Spiron, well, first off, when you look at them nowadays, they look a little weird. Like the outsole doesn't look like it would grip much of anything. But back in the day, that was like a road shoe. And then if you had a trail version of it, the outsole would look a little bit more rugged, a little bit more aggressive. It would look something similar to this. So yeah, I think that this is an interesting move. It's a lot of rubber, not something that I actually expect from a brand like Nike nowadays, but it's nice that it's on there, so it'll be pretty durable. As far as the cushioning goes, it's the same exact stuff as the Spiron, so I think that that part is fantastic. So basically from the ball of the foot down, it's articulated Zoom Air, and it's all connected with like little tendrils and things like that, basically like an air tube transfer. So everywhere where you sit, it's gonna shift air depending on where the pressure is applied. Now, it is a bottom-loaded setup. Some people don't like it because it's not directly underneath your foot. I personally do. I think it's one of the more interesting feeling Zoom Air setups that I've personally tried, and I think I've tried them all at this point. So yeah, it's just one of those things where I've always wanted to try these, and that most recent Spiron Retro I was able to. And now, which is what I suppose these are for, is that if you weren't into the Spirons, maybe this would like lead you in that direction if you're into this type of product, like a hype beast product. Now, the midsole is Phylon. So in Nike terms, that's their version of EVA. It looks damn near just like the Spiron midsole, but it's not. It is slightly redesigned, it's slightly altered, but it's super familiar looking. So from here back, it looks almost identical. It is not, but it looks like it. I do like the little additions that they've done, like this little hump in the toe. If you turn the shoe over to the medial side, you got a little baby swoosh down there. I think that all of these little small changes are cool, but while keeping the overall aesthetic fairly similar. So again, whether you're new to this Spiron style of sneaker or you're a fan of the Spiron and maybe this is like calling your name, I don't know. But either way, we've got a foam midsole there, the Zoom on the bottom. I think that it's a great ride. Just in case you were interested, this is the foam insole. It's very cheap. Like this is beyond a piece of shit. It's a 2-layered foam system, so don't let that fool you. It's just all crap foam. It's all open celled. It's not good. So you can take this out, swap it out for anything else that you'd like, and you should be good to go. Before I forget, the shoes do come with 2 sets of laces. One is actually laced up with the lace itself, and the other one obviously is already laced in the shoe. So no bags, no boxes, no extra waste. Move to 0 maybe? I don't know. Now the upper is really interesting. It's a low top, it's a trainer, it's got a 4-foot strap on there. It's kind of cool. The materials used are quite nice, not premium by any means, even though they do feel like they would be premium, just because they're soft to the touch and stuff like that, but that does not equate to premium material. So the leather that you see is really soft. I'm actually really surprised. They are very thin cuts of leather though, so it's like not paper thin, but pretty close. It does feel good and it wears well and stuff like that. So in that sense, I think that it's fine. Is it gonna be a great training shoe? I will say that the toe box is hideous. So this squared ass look is awful. I don't like it whatsoever. I think that it looks super weird. However, I really like, and this is the weird part, I really like this mesh material. It's very strange. It looks like, I don't know, it reminds me of the ocean. for some reason. Looks like fishing net or something like that. I don't know why it's on here, although when you turn the shoe over behind the strap on the right foot, it says shark on there. And then on the left one, when you flip this down, it says cactus. So you'd think that it'd say Cactus Jack. And so I don't know what the shark thing is all about, but maybe you guys can teach me. But either way, the netting on there, I think is pretty cool. And on top of that, the entire upper is super comfortable and fairly forgiving. That's something that a lot of fans of the original Spiron will let you guys know is like, oh, they fit really, really narrow, which they do. I still find them to be comfortable, but they are kind of snug, especially on days when your feet are swollen or something like that, or if you're on your feet all day. These don't feel like they have that type of problem, at least as long as you know, flap the strap, which is how I would wear them because this is how we wore our straps back in the 90s.
Grandpa, tell me about the good old days.
But yeah, overall, I think that the upper and the build and the materials are probably the main highlight of the shoe besides the cushion. The overall aesthetics, again, it's to each his own. For me personally, I think the shoe looks really cool. I love the colors and stuff. It's just this toe is very weird looking to me. Almost New Balance-ish from the top down. The tongue is nylon and it's very stiff. I'm actually surprised. It's not quite like the Air Jordan 1 tongues, even though they try their best to make it kind of look like that. They've got the open exposed foam. They've got the Cactus Jack branding on the side, the Nike Air tab, even though it doesn't say Nike Air, it should because there's Zoom Air in there, but whatever, it should say Nike Zoom. That would be sick. The back material, I will say, I don't know what the this is. It's weird. I'm not gonna say what you said.
Please don't.
Because last time I said something like that, people did not appreciate it. It looks weird. I'm not a big fan of that either. I do think that the heel tabs are interesting because they do literally say Nike Air Zoom Spiron, even though that's not the shoe's name. Was this called something else and then they like decided to slap on Travis Scott branding and be like, hey, let's make this a collab instead.
Don't be suspicious, don't be suspicious, don't be suspicious, don't be suspicious.
And then you got the sicko face on both shoes, which is an interesting touch. The little Nike swooshes for the mouth is also cool, a little bit different than the Jordan brand stuff. So I think that these are cool. I just think that it's funny that they're literally a flop. You know what I mean? Like I don't know if I've seen a Travis Scott shoe for retail after retail. It's interesting. As far as the fit is concerned, I would go true to size for most. Like I said, the upper is a lot more forgiving than the Spiridons. So I think that most people will be fine with that. If you're a wide footer, you might want to consider going up half a size. They are still on the slender side. It's just that the materials are much more forgiving. And with that being said, what is today's user submitted? So if you have not submitted a question, leave one down below in the comment section. You might see it featured in a future video. But what is today's question of the day?
What is your favorite X-Men adjacent team?
Ooh.
New Mutants, X Factor, X Force, Alpha Flight, or is there some other one?
I don't think there is a...
They said etc.
Excalibur. I mean, there are a few, but
okay.
Like it does kind of depend on the run, which can be said for all of these, you know, titles and stuff. So yeah, I'm not a huge fan of New Mutants and stuff, but X Force, X Factor, those are the main two that I do absolutely love. Also depends on the run though. Fun fact though, X Factor was originally just the original X-Men. It was just like their different name to like be like more covert instead of being the X-Men and stuff like that. The original stories were interesting. It was just the original 5 characters, you know, Beast, Cyclops, Jean, Angel, Iceman, and they just had different suits, except for Beast. Well, actually he did. It depended on if he was furry or not. Back then, they kept going back and forth. Iceman's suit was the same because he was just him. I really love X Factor though. I think that they're great, especially once they transition into the 90s style of X Factor where you have Cyclops' brother, Havoc, and Strong Guy and all that stuff. I actually have like in my toy room, I got shelving and stuff like that with like different teams set up. The X Factor team is one of my favorites. I just finally completed it, even though it's not quite accurate because I got Quicksilver finally, so I put it up there, but he's in his Brotherhood of Evil Mutant suit, the green one, and not the blue one that he wore. But the blue figure's expensive, so I can't justify purchasing it. But what about you guys? What is your favorite X adjacent team? If you have more than one, sound off below, let me know. If you have a very specific squad that you like of those teams, also let me know because I'd like to know your reasoning behind that. For me, again, sometimes it's visual, sometimes it's just more fun.
Same sugar.
But with that being said, thank you guys so much for being here. We greatly appreciate you guys' time. We will catch you all in the next one. So until then, y'all have a good one.